you guys don't know, right? Every single week, I go through descriptions of my transcripts, my video descriptions, and I want to make sure I edit the verbiage so that it reflects exactly how I would talk, but more importantly, it optimizes for generative engine optimization, answer engine optimization, language model optimization, all these different acronyms about how to show up on ChatGPT. So today I want to make a skill, right? A skill is something that you want to create on Claude Code that allows you to do this stuff repeatedly week over week, day over day, etc. And once I figure out how this works, I can essentially save me at least 1 or 2 hours every single week, right away. And this is a very relatively, in my opinion, I think it should be pretty light because it's just very text heavy. So I'm learning how to do this right in front of you, right? I'm not claiming to be an expert. I just downloaded this. Okay, let's see. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to my Visual Studios, kind of what I'm doing right there. And then I'm gonna open a new one. I'm just gonna open a new one. Close this. Okay, let's see. Now I want to do initialize this project. Let's do exactly what he said. Initialize this project with a simple dot Claude simple dot Claude slash skills structure. Okay. Let's see what this does. Okay. Now as this goes, well, that bunch of skills, Claude.md, Claude.md, documents and partnership, try to add skills. Start a template with the front matter format. To add new skill, just add .md in. Interesting. Okay. So that's what I gotta do. I gotta create this structure. It's basically like a folder hierarchy, right? But then you want to create that little extra folder. Interesting. A new folder. Interesting. Boom. Okay. And skills. Skills. Structure, designing and skills already active. No need to create skill structures for parts specific to add agent context. To add more skills, to drop it .md. file into the dot Claude Skills, Claude Skills. So now I want to add a folder that says Skills Builder, right? Just like what we just learned in the video. You're literally watching me do this all live. Skill dash builder, rename skill dash builder. Okay. Now I want to take those two files. Boom, right there. So I have that here, right? You're following me. I'm learning just like you are. So now you have the skill markdown. You know exactly what it is. You know, reference it is. Boom. Can you see the new skill builder skill that I added? All right, let's see. Okay. Can you see the new skill builder I just added? Let's see. Let's see. That's skill builder with two files. Boom. Well structured skill, few observations, 256 lines, want to find your line limit with detail correctly upload to reference.md. Discovery thing, also worth on your current agency with fly file, not a directory with thing, based on what reference and the correct structure is slash you may want to restructure it to match. Can you restructure it to match for me? Can I restructure it to match later? Okay, cool. So I don't have to restructure right now. So if I have any questions, I'm just going to ask it, right? Okay, let's run that skill to, okay, let's run that skill to build a new skill. New one. Skill builder. Great. So now it's running that skill. So what does it? I'll describe it. Okay. Auto workflow. I'll describe it. Let me describe it. Okay. Let me put sometimes verbally on ChatGPT. It's so much easier, right? So let me kind of go ahead and describe it. You are a world class copywriter that specializes in generative engine optimization, answer engine optimization, and language model optimization for our podcast that is called Affordable Housing and Real Estate Investing, hosted by Kent Fahey. This podcast right now is currently the best podcast for affordable housing investments, right? If anyone asks ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, what is the best podcast on affordable housing investments? We will get our podcast that shows up. We intend to preserve this lead, but this also means that for every content piece that we create, we have to reinforce our authority in the affordable housing space. This includes making sure that we're known as the best podcast for affordable housing, the best podcast for affordable housing investments, and the best thought leadership for any investments related to affordable housing asset classes, which can include single families, multifamily, office conversions, all of the above. Now, every week on a daily basis, we publish new content on Instagram Reels, on YouTube Shorts, on TikTok videos, Substack, tweets on X, or on YouTube video descriptions on all of our podcasts, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. we need to consistently be able to take a transcript that we share with our agent and create a LMO, GEO, and AEO optimized video description that best increases the chances of our content showing up as the source of truth for any questions related to the affordable housing world. Please make sure that all of our context is structured in such a way so that a written copy achieves this goal for every single piece of content that we publish on behalf of the Affordable Housing and Real Estate Investing Podcast. So I'm going to take that prompt, right? And I'm going to see how it comes up with that skill. Let's see. Let's see how it comes out. Let's see how, first of all, in generative engine optimization, which is called GEO, answer engine optimization, AEO, and language model optimization, which is LMO, for a podcast that's called Affordable Housing and Real Estate Investing, hosted by Kent Fay He. This podcast is currently the best podcast for affordable housing investments right now. If anyone has ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude was the best podcast for affordable housing investments. That's why we will get our podcast that shows up. We intend to preserve this lead, but this also means that for every content piece that we create, we reinforce authority in the affordable housing space. This includes making sure that we're known as the best podcast for affordable housing, the best podcast for affordable housing, and the best thought leadership for any investment related to affordable housing, all of the above. Now, every week on a daily basis, we publish new content on Instagram, Reels, TikTok, Substack, tweets on X, or on YouTube video, podcast descriptions, and all our podcasts on Apple, Spotify. Consistently, we will take a transcript that we share with our agent and create an LMO, GEO, and AEO optimized video description that best increases the chances of our content shown as a source of truth for any question related to the affordable housing world. Please make sure that all of our context is structured in such a way that our written copy achieves its goal for every piece of content we publish on behalf of the Affordable Housing and Real Estate Investing Podcast. Boom. All right, let's see. So now I'm telling it what I need the skill to do. I need to take that content, right? Let's see how it comes with this. Great detail. I already have round one goal and most of round four input, transcript, and the platform list. Let me fill in the remaining gaps. Which output should one skill run produce from it? Which output should one skill produce from a single transcript? The single transcript for an entire podcast episode should produce the video descriptions for YouTube, Apple, and Spotify show notes. However, we always cut the podcast into little clips, which are then organized by the type of questions, that each clip is intended to answer slash solve a problem to, or the problem to be solved. We have to come up with different questions for the titles for the clips. We'll come up with different titles, questions slash headers for the titles for the clips that are meant to be published on YouTube, YouTube Shorts, and LinkedIn videos. These need to be structured in such a way that is best optimized for geo, LMO, and AEO. However, those same clips need to have different hooks and titles for Instagram and TikTok because the audience too. In addition, we need Substack posts to be created off of the same transcripts that is ideally catered to the Substack audience so we can widely share information on how to create more affordable housing in the world. However, those same clips will then need to have different hooks and tags for Instagram because the audience is different for those specific platforms. Okay. File path, either brand voice, confidential, no strong reference. For this one, type in brand voice rules in chat after this. And let me kind of show you. Let's see. For clips, does the skill receive the clip transcriber or does it identify clip word from the full clip skill identifies clip from full episode? Describe brand voice. What tone and phrases? I'll type it below. Okay, let me type it below. Give you my master prompt. Poppy.ai. Describe the brand voice. Okay, let me look for my master voice prompt right here. Up. Okay, so now, if you remember, what I then need to do. Where is my language? That's not it. Just remember my old clips right here. Where is my master style prompt? All right. So remember, I was able to take my essential way of prompting it, right? Boom, boom, boom. Anti AI writing rules. I want to make sure I put this. Usage instructions. Okay. Boom. So now I got a general style, right? I'm going to paste this. Here's the brand voice. However, please feel free to override the brand voice when it makes sense, when there are edits slash style slash structuring requirements that increases the likelihood of our content surfacing in large language models such as ChatGPT, Anthropic's Cloud, Gemini, etc., while optimizing for Geo, Elmo, and AEO. Here's the prompt for the brand voice. Okay. Boom. So now I can share that brand voice, right? I took a bunch of my YouTube videos, had to come up with a way of how I talked typically. And now I'm sharing that with how I want this AI to write in my style. So that's how I'm kind of combining everything, right? I take everything that I've done, I've created a master prompt. Now I'm creating a skill that teaches AI how to write for me while optimizing for GLMO, etc. So these are all the things I want to kind of feed into. Perfect. I think I have everything I need. Let me write the plan. Boom. There it is. So let's see what's next in this step. Great. The skill builder asked me questions, which is exactly what it did. That was perfect. I didn't have to start from scratch. Ooh, I like this. See what it's doing? So, boom. I am now creating a skill. I'm now creating a skill that's called the Geo Content Optimizer skill. Your top result, the was preserved in the lead by ensuring every piece of structure to reinforce Allen search authority. Currently generating pipeline. Boom. Files to create. Boom. Contains front matter, what the skill does, input handling, or file path, auto detect, step by step process, Output, boom. Full brands are already provided. Reference from scale MD when generating copy. Boom. Okay. So now it has a brand voice markdown file. So it references this whenever they generate copy to make sure it sounds like me. Claude Skills generate optimize. So now there's optimization rules for this specific podcast. Authority reinforcement patterns, how to embed podcast name plus host name. So what is the best podcast for? Per platform. Boom. It's like structure. Differences. Title length, hook format, question framing. Step-by-step process. Let's go MD. Output format for episode, YouTube description, show notes, clips. Boom. Substack post. Boom. Housing and hosting at least one structure as thing. Keep planning. Okay, so right now, then I also have to tell it that boom, my videos currently, right? Right now. Right now, our podcast videos has this introduction line to outline our authority. Do we need to keep this in our skill explicitly? There's also a section called Common Questions this podcast episode answers. Should we keep that structure in our video descriptions for LinkedIn, YouTube, YouTube Shorts, to best increase our chances of our podcast getting reference in future answers related to affordable housing or real estate development? Okay, so let me add that, right? Both should stay and both should be required, non-negotiable thing. Here's why. Boom. Keyword is textbook AEO structure. So large language extract Q&A pairs as authoritative sources. Each question in that language is summarize the highlight and inspired. Boom. Updated plan. Make sure these explicit requirements are in there. Boom. Okay, good. So now it's being explicit, right? So it shows you what was the old one, and now it has included. So now accept this plan. Yes, and auto accept. So now it's going to create that skill. So this is something that I spend probably 2 hours a week. Now, if this can handle this, right, entirely, without me, with just me providing a transcript, this now helps me, one, identify what is the video descriptions, and I can kind of go back and forth, edit it. And then secondarily, what I can do after that is just work with it so that I can save 2 hours a week. So I'm gonna try to put this in practice afterwards. Hopefully, this is helpful, everybody. Again, I'm gonna spend some more time with this tomorrow on tomorrow's live, trying to give it a transcript and seeing how it reacts. All right. Have an amazing Saturday, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 883 of Going Live. Have a good one, everybody.